I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue. We'll try to fix that and get back to you after a quick break.
Nah, man, nah. He did not short circuit. Stephen Miller, the Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor in the Trump administration, flubbed a talking point and was too embarrassed to continue. Meanwhile,
point is that they are scrapping and grasping at straws because they have nothing else. Laugh at them. Stephen Miller is a clown. I've never seen that guy in real life, but he looks like he's like 4'10", and he looks like he is angry about the fact that he's 4'10", and he looks like he is so mad that he is 4'10", that he's taking that anger out at any other population possible.
New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez roasted him on her most recent Instagram Live.
You called a legal ruling legal insurrection. Are you recommending the president take action against judges whose rulings he disagrees with?
No, it's simply a factually accurate statement that when a judge assumes for him or herself the powers that have been relegated or delegated by the Constitution to the president, that is a form of a legal insurrection, and we have seen.
Insurrection carries a legal weight. So, are you recommending?
We have seen over the last 9 months a ongoing legal insurrection in which district court judges, as a class, in many cases, have issued, which is why they've been overturned so much, have issued rulings that are flagrantly unlawful and unconstitutional. And it is an insurrection against the laws and Constitution of the United States. And we need to have district courts in this country that see themselves as being under the laws and Constitution and not being able to take for themselves powers that are reserved solely for the president.
Miller is someone who has received a ton of criticism. Plenty of his critics have compared him to Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propagandist, for the similarity in speeches and rhetoric overall.
Like, laugh at them. Laugh at them. Yes, they are dangerous. Yes, we're here to be strong for one another. We need to expose the lies. We need to never let off the gas when it comes to protecting one another, exposing the lies, documenting things. We're seeing this too, right? And so I think it's very important to be able to hold multiple things at once. And we've seen this work in other cultures. We've seen this work in other countries. Yes, the resistance to authoritarianism is very real. The risks of abuse of power are very real. But one of the most powerful cultural things that you can do to a political movement that is predicated on the puffery of insecure masculinity. That's what this is about. This isn't, people talk about toxic masculinity more than it's like, let's put that to the side for just 1 second. This is about insecure masculinity. And one of the best ways that you can dismantle a movement of insecure men is by making fun of them.
I mean, for the guy we're discussing here, it's almost a layup to most.
Do you have evidence that this campaign is coordinated? Are you planning charges on anyone who is actually coordinating said campaign?
Yes. So since the Joint Terrorism Task Force has gotten involved, we found that there are common funding, that there is common financing, that there are meeting points, that is
what you're
carefully
describing as
orchestrated,
actual
it is carefully
terrorism.
integrated. Yes.
And you are going to charge someone with terrorism.
Well, so I would like to.
I bet you would like to, but that doesn't mean you're going to, are you?
No. What I'm saying to you is the Congress has statutes on seditious conspiracy, on insurrection, on impeding federal law enforcement. The domestic terrorism statute in Congress obviously needs to be strengthened. For domestic terrorism in Congress, we have foreign terrorism charges.
By the way, according to Ken Klippenstein, this guy is saying doxing is a form of terrorism now. Clownish behavior.
By having secure men who aren't afraid of successful people around them, who are good dads, who have strong values, also participating in that as well. So, like, that's what I have for that. And also someone said, short kings are great. Absolutely. I'm not here. I want to absolutely make sure that I talk about that. I'm not here to make fun of anyone's anything, but the way people overcompensate over their own stories is what I'm talking about there. So thank you for the clarification. I appreciate that. Shout out to our short kings. Someone said not short king, short troll. That's correct. There's a difference.
AOC would then comment on this very story that it seems she drove up in the media, and Fox News even covered on her social media platforms the very next day.
I want to express my love for the short king community. I don't believe in body shaming. I am talking about how big or small someone is on the inside. Like, for example, I have no idea how tall Andrew Tate is. No idea at all. But that guy looks to me like 5'3", like 5'3", 5'4". Whereas physically, men of smaller stature can come across. They are spiritually 6 foot. If you're a good dad, if you stand with women, if you're not belittling immigrants, you're like, 6'3", spiritually.
We have also covered this. I know the network has covered this as well. Stephen Miller's own family hates him. They despise him. Family members have spoken to Politico. They have given interviews within the mainstream press. Practically no one in his family likes him. And if you needed another example, here it is. Alyssa Casimir, Stephen Miller's cousin, took to Facebook to disown him. Many of you know who my cousin is. Being public about it is something I've struggled with. I live with real fear about what posting something this raw might bring. I am living with the deep pain of watching someone I once loved become the face of evil. But I know that staying silent only deepens the ache. There's so much more I could say, and maybe someday I will. It's a long read. I'm wordy AF, she typed. She would continue. Last night I found myself in a stage of grief I didn't even realize I had been carrying. A grief that's been living inside me for years, quiet but constant. It comes from being so close to the root of something violent and vile in this country. I cried until I couldn't breathe. Hours of sobbing, gasping, shaking, sick to my stomach with a weight in my chest that was too heavy to fight. I was having a panic attack I couldn't escape. Maybe it was 10 years of anger and pain finally breaking through the surface. Maybe it was the most recent ice raids turning my rage into sorrow. Whatever it was, something in me cracked wide open and has shaken me to my core. More from Casimir. Our privilege has been wasted on cruelty and torture, targeting the very people who make our communities whole, the hardest workers, the most vulnerable, the ones who carry this country on their backs. A society is only as strong as its most vulnerable, and ours are at their weakest. This is not by accident, but by design. Your design, Stephen. I grieve what you've become, Stephen, and I grieve what I've lost because of it. I grieve your children and I will never meet. I grieve the future family you've stolen from me by choosing a path so filled with cruelty that I cannot and will not be a part of it. I will never knowingly let evil into my life, no matter whose blood it carries, including my own. The last 2 paragraphs read as follows. I try to fight your harm in every way I can, but it will never be enough. I can't undo what you've done or who you have become. I cannot match or reach your power. I feel helpless. The panic attacks haven't stopped since the grief cracked open. The tears won't stop, and the weight on my chest is constant. This isn't about politics. This is about humanity, about decency, and you have lost yours. She would conclude, you've destroyed so many lives just to feed your own obsession and ego and uphold an administration so corrupt, so vile, I can barely comprehend it. As surreal as it all feels, this is reality. As much as I try to disassociate from it, the truth remains. Being this close to such deep cruelty fills me with shame. I am gutted. My heart breaks that this is the legacy you have brought to our family. A legacy I never asked to share with you, and one I now carry like a curse. So there's a lot here, right? And I think the biggest point is this. It seems as though it is almost rinse, wash, repeat, but getting money out of politics is so incredibly important, right? It is the driving force for corruption and leads to such evil. And one thing that really hasn't been discussed, I believe ProPublica and a few other outlets printed stuff on this, but Stephen Miller holds stock in some of the companies that are carrying out his immigration policy. I mean, not only are you, as I've stated previously, some compare him to the modern day Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propagandist. Not only do you have such a dark soul, but you're financially benefiting from having a dark soul. You have stock in companies that are carrying out your deportations. And this isn't even discussed anymore. We're just talking about, at least online, the chatter has been, oh, he's so hideous. Oh, he's short. Oh, he's terrible. Yeah, those are all true. But he's also raking in countless amounts of money by being evil. I mean, I don't know why it's not. I think I do know why. I do know why it's not talked about. It's because it's just the law of the land at this point. But it's still nonetheless incredibly frustrating to witness.